So in the last video, we talked about the concept of composition as a way to manage raw materials, but we also identified the problem of variations. So when you look at a classic store that provides that's in the food retail business, you often see a set of variations that may not be possible in to anticipate the exact configuration of a particular menu that a customer might demand for. If you're looking at what we have here, for example, this is apple kidney bean salad, and trying to buy it, we have different extras that that you can't predetermine what the customer might request for. So what we can see here is that this can create all sort of variations that may not be it will not be possible to capture all those variations upfront. So we wanted to look at another potential feature of StoreHarmony that can help to manage raw material and help account for its use at different times. So in this video, we're looking at a workflow that involves, because if you look at this workflow here, the idea is that to efficiently, a customer places request that is passed to a cook or a production person, and they get raw materials from a storekeeper, they process that order, and after packaging the order, they pass it back to the cashier, and then the cashier delivers it to the customer after receiving payment. So we expect that the production officers essentially approve, or they are the ones that take raw materials directly from the store to use. So it is possible to have a control mechanism in the store itself that passes raw materials in bulk, in portioned quantities to the production officers. So let's assume, for instance, that we receive 10 kilograms of a particular raw material, and we expect that 10 kilograms of that particular raw material to essentially produce a particular volume of product. So we can, instead of measuring raw material to production officers every time there is a demand, an order placed, they could be proportioned and more like pre-allocated in bulk to production officers, and checked out of the system in that bulk, so that the production officers will be required to produce a particular quantity of meal from the raw materials that they have. So you kind of portioning those raw materials to the cooks or the production officers upfront. So what we're trying to illustrate here, for example, is to be able to measure the efficiency, how efficient a production officer is, and how they can manage the raw materials that is given to them, so that you know that there is no leakage. Bulk of what you're giving them is not being wasted, but there's a way to track how much of what you've allocated to each production officer, how much of that is going into actually servicing orders for customers. So here now we have a function here called issue inventory to production staff. So to use this function, we are able to actually select all the raw materials that is needed to more like a quota, of the raw materials that is commonly used. So when we measure out that quota, for example, we could transfer that quota to a production officer. So transferring that quota to a production officer means that we are saying that, okay, you've been given 1 kilogram of banana and then 1 kilogram of chicken. Other measures can be designed as well, but we're trying to portion these things to the production officer, and once they are portioned to them, we know that they have to make use of those raw materials to handle sales as well. So in this case, we are able to approve this, and we have that those items approved to the production officer. So what we're going to do next is to now see what happens when they are processed and they have sold the items to the customers. So we can see how the system handles that.